Hi, we're here with Melanie Lougee. She leads experience and vision at Workday, and she's going to help us understand how HR tech can connect the workforce. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
One of the things I'd love to start right in on is something I know a lot of HR leaders are thinking about. How can technology have an impact on retention and engagement, two really important things with their workforce?
Sure, absolutely. We hear that all the time from our customers. It's a recurring theme. And we, especially here in certain industries like healthcare, is really struggling with that right now, but not unique to healthcare. It's across the board where organizations have realized that keeping people is a lot more approachable and valuable and supports continuity in ways that replacing turnover with new hires, while still necessary in a lot of cases, is not quite as effective. So the ways that we're seeing HR leaders approach that is really by kind of looking at the whole talent picture. So instead of having disparate point solutions all over the place, really understanding that one thing feeds another. So recruiting should be feeding performance. Performance should be feeding learning. All of those things working together to really look at the whole person and being able to fuse skills and AI throughout that to be able to make sure that employees are really engaged in what they're doing, they're engaged in their career, they understand expectations, they see the possibility involved in staying. So that's one of the areas. Another area that I would bring up is just the care that is given to employees, or contingents, for that matter. Contingent's a growing part. So, the ability to make sure that they have a good experience, that they have the right programs in place, that their wellness, their total wellness is looked after as well in an easy way.
So it sounds kind of like, instead of considering like different parts of HR, kind of considering the employee as kind of your base point. And
right.
Yeah, and this is an exciting question because I know Workday has rolled out a lot of forward-thinking things, especially this week. When you're thinking about vision, we've got the right person here for this. What does the tech stack of the future look like for HR leaders?
Sure. So it's going to look very different. So within our industry, there's always a continuum. There's a lot of buying best of breeds, and then there's an, oh no, this is really expensive and has bad experiences, and then there's kind of a consolidation that happens. So we're going through a bit of a consolidation now. So especially being driven by the adoption of AI. So we all know that AI needs data to breathe. And when organizations have that data scattered through all of these different systems that don't talk to each other, that have different data silos, that becomes very difficult. So we're already seeing a lot of customers and a lot of interest in starting to wind down a lot of these point solutions to be able to consolidate the data. So the future of that stack is going to look a lot more consolidated yet extensible. Customers are going to want to be building things. Where it's necessary, they are going to want to be bringing in data from other sources and being able to work off of that together. The other thing that I would say is that in the past, there's always had to be very rigid processes, especially where a process crosses multiple systems, like an onboarding process or a development process. In the future, especially being able to use AI search results and agents to be able to craft things for an employee, instead of being the process that you put people into, you'll have a person and they will be able to create the process around them. So I think that will be a fundamental shift as well.
One of the things that's exciting about what Workday does is partnering with so many of your clients on what they need and what they want to build or what they want to see. I think that is new for some folks that have always just kind of taken the product they were given. So is that kind of part of the future, sort of imagining what's possible?
Absolutely. So we're working really closely with our partners. I'm actually here presenting with Unum, and we're very excited about our partnership with them and everything that we're learning from them as well, and bringing a lot of early adopters into all of our testing and crafting and prioritization and all of that around. Very focused on a lot of our new agents that have come out or are coming out soon, but they've all been developed in partnership with our customers, thoroughly tested with them. We work with them early on to find out what do they really want, what do they need, and work on those things together, which is really rewarding to be able to solve problems together.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about AI as such a big picture, people are saying, oh, I need to try it, or I need my employees to try it. Many people will try it for the first time through using Workday. So you're kind of, bringing something new to many people that is what the goal, what they
Right.
want to do, and it seems to me that it's going to be really easy to use, and they're going to feel like experts right away with it.
I think we are definitely going to achieve that. So in a couple of ways. First is by building out agents and building out an agent orchestration layer all within Workday. It means that customers have the option not to be dumping large quantities of data into a third-party system, which introduces risk, cost, maintenance, also very difficult to maintain anything that's going to be bi-directional. By being able to do that natively within Workday, they can be able to do all of that instantaneously, save time, save effort. The other thing that we just announced yesterday at Rising to make it easier for our customers to adopt is flex credits. So we're not charging for our agents. The agents will come if you own the underlying product. So for example, if you own Workday Payroll, you get payroll agent. But what we introduced is flex credits so that if you're using that payroll agent, you're paying just for the usage of that. And those credits are actually fungible. So I can try those credits across any of our agents, which means I can experiment with things without having to purchase an agent before I can even give it a try.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be a big shift, and it's something our customers have wanted for a long time, was paying for usage instead of having a big blocker of having to make a major buying decision before they can even try it.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, big change.
What about the piece of you know HR leaders trying to introduce this anything new to their workforce with using these kinds of things? Is there any advice you have or something that they could think about to take home, like communicating with their workforce on these kinds of things?
Yeah, we actually just finished a study on that. And in that study, we found that employees are a lot more willing and interested in picking up and using these new technologies if they understand what the purpose is and what their role is in it, right? If they can really see that the technology is there to help them and make their jobs more efficient so they can spend less time doing things like reconciliation or hunting for information and more time being able to analyze that information, make a decision, move something along. When they understand that that is the approach and the relationship between a person and an agent, they're much more likely to pick it up.
Sounds very doable.
It is, and I think we're getting to a point where more is understood about agentic and what the possibility and limitations are and what the roles really should be.
Could you speak a bit, you already kind of alluded to, and we all know that Workday has an incredible amount of data that's useful for HR departments and other leaders. Speak a bit about how that can be kind of not in a silo, but something that's kind of available across the company and how that can help. I think data is a big priority for HR leaders right now.
Yes, it's huge. So we have 70 million users on the Workday platform. We process 1 trillion transactions a year on the Workday platform. That's across HR and finance as well. So being able to have all of that data means being able to deliver the intelligence on top of it. Also, we've introduced some new things too. Another big announcement that came out of Rising yesterday was that we have created a data cloud. It's a zero-copy data cloud. Our first partner with access to that is Snowflake, and there will be others coming. So again, making it easier to open up our platform, make it easier for HR leaders and IT leaders, to get what they need out of the platform or put what they need into the platform to be able to start reporting on things, getting insights, and driving processes.
It could really change business outcomes having this type of data, and I think it's really exciting to make this announcement now, because I know that's one of the things people are clamoring for. They want data to help make decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what about the employee experience now? Is there anything that you feel like is changing, more exciting, something people should kind of look forward to when they go back to talk to their workforce about it?
Sure, I think absolutely. So I think one of the things that we've been able to do, and that we're seeing in the industry too, is we're also coming out of an area of an era, if you will, when there was a lot of bespoke design around experience. So you have some kind of a transaction that happens or a process flow. And again, the UX was designed around that instead of necessarily being designed around, I'm a human being and I have a question, or I'm trying to get something solved, and having all of the data and processes align for them. So I think that's really what's exciting that we're approaching. And again, once again, we were doing something exciting in this area. We just announced our intention to acquire a Swedish company called Sana that is excellent in that area. They started in learning, but they're expanding beyond that to be able to deliver that kind of experience for the end user.
Really exciting.
Yes.
I know the buzz amongst people was what was being announced at Rising. You've had just great innovation recently, and one of my questions was, what are you working on? What are you excited about? And I think you've really answered that, because this is all just so fresh. I mean, it's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really an opening up of our platform. We have like 120 more APIs that we're opening up. A lot of the agent-to-agent communication. Microsoft is one of our first partners that has a Copilot now available through our agent system of record to Workday customers. So that's happening. It's a really exciting time to see the platform really opening up and the focus on that approach.
It is a new time. I mean, that is a whole new way of thinking about things than we were a few years ago. Anything I didn't ask you about that you want to tell the audience or talk about?
Sure. I would say that a lot of the focus has been on agentic and all of these announcements, but I would say that Workday is also very much focused on evolving what's at its core, right? We're having our 20th birthday right now, right? Which is really exciting. But one of the things that I'll say too is we're also investing in that. So like, for example, job architecture agent, right? So the ability to look at all of the job codes and descriptions and all of that and be able to apply AI to that to clean them up. What haven't I used in 5 years? Where are the overlaps? How can I normalize this, add skills to it, and push it out in an automated way? So those kinds of things too. So yes, we're building up here, but we're also using this to advance what people have been using for quite a while and be able to get that to a whole new level of operability and excellence.
And it makes me think that's really solving a problem that a lot of people have had about what the workforce looks like with AI, kind of dispelling that myth that someone's job will be replaced. Maybe in this case, it will be jobs that no one's really even doing, that are holding, kind of a holding pattern that can move into the future. Job architecture can give us insight into what's most valuable for everybody.
I think so. Let me make sure that I kind of understood that question correctly. So the first thing that you mentioned around jobs being eliminated, will AI sometimes, right? But every time that happens, when there's been a new technology that's been of this force, there's also been job creation. Yeah. And a lot of it, I think, also comes down to what is the corporate culture, the individual corporate culture, not just the technology of what they're trying to achieve. But I do think that just being able to run the workforce more intelligently, being able to understand who you have, what they're doing, bring them along, make sure they have the skills that they need, being able to apply planning, for example, being able to predict the needs, being able to decide if this should be a contingent or an employee. Those types of things I think will help a lot towards keeping that workforce whole.
Yeah, and helping people use the skills that they have or want to develop, maybe finding opportunities as well.
Right.
Really exciting. Well, thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
All right.